Okay, boys and girls, so today for our book, it is going to be the butterfly life cycle. And with this book, we are going to do a KWL chart. So make sure to grab a paper and grab something to write with so you can make your chart before we start. So our KWL chart, we're going to do the first two parts together, and then we're going to go through the book and hopefully answer our last part. So for our first one, it's our K. So for our K, we want to write what you already know about the butterfly cycle. So pause the video and write 1 to 2 things that you already know about the butterfly or the butterfly life cycle. So for mine, I wrote that I already know that the butterfly goes through a life cycle in order to go from the egg to the butterfly. And then my second one, I wrote that the caterpillar creates a cocoon to grow into a butterfly. So those are two things that I already know from butterflies. Make sure you have yours written down. So for our second part is the W. The W is going to be what you want to know / learn. So what do you want to end up learning from the book that we're about to read? So pause the video and write 1 to 2 things that you might want to learn. So for mine, I wrote 2 questions. So for the first one, I put that I want to learn how long does the caterpillar stay inside the shell. And for the second one, I wrote, what does a caterpillar do to prepare itself before it goes into its shell? So those 2 questions, I'm going to be looking through the book while I'm reading it, hoping that I can find the answer to those. And so for our last one, that's what we're going to do after we finish reading the book. So make sure you pause the video and fill out your first 2 sections. Okay, and then, so we're going to get started with our book. So this is our book, The Butterfly Life Cycle. Our focus question is, what is the life cycle of a monarch butterfly? Our words to know are going to be larva, life cycle, mate, molting, pupa, and stages. This is going to be our table of contents. So on our table of contents, you can see that we're going to go through the life cycle, the egg, the pupa, the adult butterfly, and then our glossary. The life cycle. A monarch butterfly has 4 stages in its life cycle. They are egg, caterpillar, pupa, and adult. A butterfly's body goes through big changes at each stage in its development. So on top we have life cycle of a butterfly, so we can see that it starts with an egg, goes to a caterpillar, becomes a pupa, and then that turns into an adult butterfly. Our egg. A female monarch butterfly lays an oval-shaped egg on the bottom of a leaf. She might lay several hundred eggs in her lifetime. A caterpillar or larva grows inside the tiny egg. The egg hatches in 3 to 12 days. So on top we have a picture of the egg. It says, a young caterpillar hatches from its egg. A female monarch butterfly usually lays only 1 egg on 1 leaf. So you see how it is an egg and then it goes into a caterpillar hatching from the egg. A hungry caterpillar eats constantly. It needs a lot of food to grow. First, the caterpillar eats its own eggshell. It also eats any other eggs on the same leaf. Then the caterpillar eats the leaf it is on. So here we have a caterpillar. Caterpillars don't drink. They get all the water they need from their food. A caterpillar grows quickly, but its skin does not grow. The caterpillar's old skin splits and peels away in a process called molting. The caterpillar will shed its old skin many times in this stage. The time between each molting is called an instar. So here in our bottom, it says, the caterpillar puts down sticky silk. The silk keeps the old skin in place while the caterpillar wiggles out of it. New skin is under the old skin. It is soft at first but soon hardens. The caterpillar sheds its skin 4 to 6 times and eats the old skin each time. The caterpillar grows for 2 to 4 weeks. The more it eats, the more it can grow after each molting. Do you know monarch caterpillars only eat the leaves of the milkweed plant? In our picture it says, the caterpillar's bright black and yellow colors warn animals that they will get sick if they eat it. A pupa. When the caterpillar is grown, it hangs from a branch to prepare for the biggest changes of all. It molts one last time. The new skin is bright green and resembles a leaf. So in our picture we have the caterpillar going into its shell. It says the caterpillar skin splits down its back like a zipper. This green skin hardens around the caterpillar to protect it from predators as it changes inside. The caterpillar becomes a pupa or crystallizes. It will stay inside its shell for 1 to 2 weeks. During this time, its body is completely transformed. In our picture it says, the green color helps the caterpillar hide from other animals. Adult butterfly. An adult butterfly emerges from the shell. Its wet wings are folded against its body. So in our picture we see the butterfly coming out of its shell. It says the butterfly breathes in air to make its body bigger. Then the shell splits so the butterfly can climb it. The butterfly must hang upside down to rest and gain strength, or it will not be able to fly. Blood pumping into the wings causes them to unfold and spread out. While the butterfly hangs, it pushes blood into its wings. The butterfly hangs for several hours. The sun and air dry its delicate wings. A butterfly has 2 pairs of wings that are covered in scales. The wings in the front often have a slightly different pattern from the pair in the back. When a butterfly rests, it holds its wings up. The colors on the wings are usually similar to each other. So in our picture it says, most monarch butterflies' wings are about 4 inches from tip to tip. Once the butterfly is able to fly, it flies off to eat. Unlike a caterpillar, a butterfly does not eat leaves. Instead, it sips nectar from flowers. It also searches for a mate. In our picture it says, monarch butterflies drink nectar, a sweet liquid made by plants with a long tongue shaped like a tube. So in our picture you see the butterfly flying, and then you see it in the bottom drinking the nectar. Adult butterflies do not grow. They conserve their energy for flying and laying eggs. Females are usually bigger than males and have wider stripes on their wings. The last monarchs of the season will migrate or move to a warmer place in the late summer. These few butterflies will survive the winter until they can return home and find a mate. A monarch butterfly usually lives for 2 to 6 weeks. After she finds a mate, the female lays her eggs and starts the butterfly life cycle all over again. So in our picture it says, a female monarch butterfly may lay 400 to 500 eggs in her lifetime. And this is our glossary. So make sure you pause your video and do the last part of our chart, so what you learned. So try to see if you were able to answer your questions, and if you weren't able to answer your questions, then write 1 to 2 things that you didn't know about the butterfly or its life cycle before reading this book. So for mine, I actually was able to find the answer to my questions. So for my first one, when I wanted to know how long does it stay inside its shell, the story told us it takes about 1 to 2 weeks in there. And then, what does a caterpillar do to prepare itself? The caterpillar eats constantly in order to grow. So make sure you fill out yours on what you learned.